Well, President Obama campaigned passionately on a platform to combat the ravages of climate change. And he's passionate about it because he believes in it. He hoped to come to Copenhagen last year having passed legislation in both the House and the Senate in the United States that would have called for a cap-and-trade emission system for the United States. And our plan was to go to Copenhagen with that legislation in hand. It didn't happen. We got legislation through the House. We didn't get it through the Senate. But looking on the bright side, Copenhagen was successful in that it wasn't as successful as we had hoped, but it is significant in that we did get an agreement, including from many of the emerging markets like China and India, that not only this is a significant problem, but we have now established a framework for further progress going forward. And we give a lot of credit to the leadership in Europe for getting us to that place. The important part is not to let the momentum cease. We've got to move ahead on this issue. The climate change problems are not going away. They're hard when you have a difficult economy, but we have to keep working on them, and we will.
All right. So in a way, you will really use that summit between the EU and the US to define a clear position for the next Cancun meeting.
I'm sure that they will talk about this. I mean, one of the lessons that I think we all learned coming out of Copenhagen is that there was a need for closer coordination between the United States and the EU. And we're committed to making sure that we are communicating clearly on our positions going into Cancun. There is a recognition as a result of the Copenhagen Accords that we're all in this together, and that the emerging markets will have to play a role in helping solve the problem. Really, that was one of the most significant things that came out of Copenhagen, was basically a global agreement among the major emitters that we all have to work together to solve the problem. And Europe and the United States have and will continue to play a leading role in moving the Copenhagen Accords to the next level, and hopefully we'll make more progress.
May seem to be a bit unfair is to ask those countries like China, India or Brazil where the emission per capita, the carbon emission per capita is extremely low in comparison to Western countries.
Well, you can't just look at where they are today, but where they're going.
Well, we should also look where we are going to.
Yes, and we are, and that's a big part of what the Copenhagen Accords were all about. Is all of the principal emitters making commitments that they will reduce carbon emissions and also reduce the growth of carbon emissions going forward. We are pleased, though, that out of the Copenhagen meeting, there's been a commitment by many countries around the world, including the United States and most of the European countries, to invest in climate, to make sure that developing countries have the resources to deal with the ravages of climate change, and that's a good thing. So I don't think that we have a disagreement on that. We believe that the emerging markets have to play a role in the solution, and second, that the more developed markets, like the United States and Europe, will help them, not only in terms of policy leadership, but also hard, cold cash. You know, we're making financial commitments to help these emerging markets fulfill their commitments post-Copenhagen. So, you know, I think that we are making progress, and the glass is not half empty here, it's half full.